Hello and welcome to Shelley's Sacred Space. This is Tarot Tidbits. We are talking today about card number 9, the Hermit, and 10, the Wheel of Fortune. A reminder before we get started, we are using the traditional Rider-Waite, but the Radiant version. We are using the Fifth Spirit. We are using and so let's get started. So the Hermit represents isolation, going within, meditation, shining your light, having wisdom, being calm within turmoil, enlightenment, truth. It can also represent turning your back. The isolation can be positive or negative, exile, neglecting yourself, withdrawing and retreating from loved ones, social awkwardness. Some of the symbols, each one of these cards has a lantern. The lantern shines a light within it. The lantern is your illumination, your light. That's what it represents. With the Hermit holding it up, that shares that you're sharing your light with the world. You are a beacon of light in this world, and it's your choice to share it or not. This card, upright, definitely represents sharing your light. If you have cards around it that's a little bit negative, or if it's reversed, it could indicate that you're not sharing your light and you need to. Okay. The staff represents stability, because if you're walking with it and you have stability and support, it's also a show of strength. There's the gray cloak. This card looks very gray. This has a dark cloak, and that is your solitude and contemplation. It's almost a somber feel to it. And then that also is a nice contrast with the white of the ground, or in this case, the water. Now, when I first looked at this, you see the white, which is a representation of winter. It also can be the ending of the seasons. Especially in this case, we have, it almost looks like he's moving from the house into a new area, leaving behind what is safe and secure to go out. In reality, this is actually the almost like Father Time, or I don't know if they had it as Father Time, but he's actually left a present on the doorway of the house for the newborn Oak King. Okay, so can't remember if he was Father Time or Father Christmas or something like that. But so he's leaving the light and the knowledge with the new king, who will grow and learn and use that knowledge for his advantage. So that's actually a really great representation of the hermit. But what I like about the snow, and especially this one, is the water around it almost feels like it's cold, and its emotions. Water represents the emotions. So the frozen ground, the snow, is representing that even in those times of aloofness or coldness, you can still have calm and peace as the hermit. So that's kind of what I get from that card. For me, the hermit really represents shining your light But you can only do that after you've gone within and you've done the internal work that you need to in order to be secure and safe to shine that light. If you don't do the internal work, the part, the wisdom, the learning the wisdom within you through isolation, through meditation, if you don't do that, you will not be solid enough to be able to shine your light without fear or without being pushed around by others. Um, so yeah, that's key for this card for me. I love the Hermit card. You'll find out I say that with most every card. The one thing that this card represents is it is connected to Virgo. So if you look on the sleeve, there's the symbol of Virgo. This deck I really like for that. If you want to know what it's connected with and a little bit more information, you can then do that. Other cards you have to kind of memorize because they don't have that symbol, but in that deck they have it on every card. So I personally really appreciate that. That is the Hermit. And now the Wheel of Fortune. And this one, of course, is called the Wheel of the Year. This card has a lot in it. Now, it does represent change, cycles, moving through or being stuck in those cycles, fate, journeys, the ups and downs. As much as it can be a good luck card, it can also come in as a bad luck card. So, again, depending on what's around it or whether you're reading the reversals. Unpredictable and yes or no. So if you're looking for a one answer, one word answer of a yes or no, and you flip up this, if it's upright, it's a yes. If it's upside down, it's a no. And then, of course, movement. So what's really interesting is this, it's a wheel. This card is all about continual movement. Even when you're looking at this one, it's a clock, right? The idea is the clock doesn't stop, it continues, time keeps moving, right? We can't stop it and wait, we need to relive that again. So that's the indication here. Now, in the Rider-Waite, we have a lot of symbology in here. So each of the animals in the four corners actually represents the fixed signs of the zodiac and the four seasons. So earth, air, water, fire, right? Each sign is either a water sign, an air sign, or an earth sign. And that also represents, so you have your goat at the bottom, which is your, hold on, your earth sign, which is connected with spring. You have the angel at the top, which is the air sign, and it is connected with winter. You have your eagle on the side, which is your water sign and connected with autumn. And then the lion down at the bottom, which is your fire and connected with summer. Now, I want to show you. So on the Rider-Waite and this card, we have the letters T, A, R, O. And you can see it really clear on here, right? You've got your T, your A, your R, and your O. Now, that has a bunch of symbology in there. So we have TARO, which represents hidden knowledge. We have TORA, Torah, which represents the Hebrew Bible. We have ROTA, Rota, which is Latin for wheel. We have ATOR,
which is a reference to Hathor, who was an Egyptian goddess of faith. We have ORAT, which is Latin for speak. And we have, if you combine the T and make it twice, tarot, which represents your universal secrets. What's interesting is when you do it that way, it then becomes the wheel again, right? Tarot, 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 tarot. So it's interesting. I went down a rabbit hole on that one. Now, in the Rider-Waite, we have the Sphinx, which of course is your wisdom, your knowledge, and power. And Anubis was, of course, the god for the underworld, which is that idea of birth and death and rebirth and the continual cycle of life, right? So that's interesting. There are also Hebrew letters on the wheel. It represents the unpronounced name of God. Now, we know it to be Yahweh, but those are the Hebrew letters to represent the word Yahweh, which is God in Judaism. What's interesting is most of the cards have clouds. Now, in your Rider-Waite, it almost makes it look like it's another realm. So it almost feels like the fates and the cycle of life and the unpredictability and the cycles that we go through are orchestrated in another realm. In this one, it feels like she's not on the earth either. Like she's not standing on ground. And then, of course, this one has that feeling of it being time slipping away, right? That we're in these cycles, and that if we don't do our best to be present, we're going to miss a lot of time. And then I love this one being year, the wheel of the year, because that's exactly what the Wheel of Fortune is. Now, it can represent good luck, like I said, in the upright, but it's a change. So the one constant that we have is change. We know that this happens constantly, and you can have good change, you can have bad change, you can have quick change, you can have slow change. With it being a wheel shape or the clock shape, this indicates fast moving. You can't slow a wheel down. And then the only other thing that I'm going to say is on this one, around the wheel is all the signs of the zodiac. And on her leg is a sign for Jupiter. So it is connected with Jupiter. So that is the Wheel of Fortune, good or bad. Thank you so much for joining me for these two cards. Our next two cards will be Justice and the Hanged Man. Can't wait to see you then. Bye for now.